Hello all, welcome back to another video. I hope you've all been doing really well. We've got March rolling in now. Hopefully that winter season is finally leaving. You're getting some nice spring weather. Today we actually had 22 degrees. 22 degrees. I was outside, t-shirt, shorts, flip-flops, loving life. Beautiful sunny weather. Now we're getting some clouds, but yeah, spring's on the way, summer's on the way. We have the Sakura Festival coming in soon, so nice pink cherry blossoms will be scattered around. So nice scenes coming up. I'm looking forward to that. But I'm not here to talk about the beautiful cherry blossoms that are going to be springing up and about. I'm here to talk about why our pain is one of the key ingredients that we need in order to better ourselves, to understand ourselves, and to find happiness. Why, if we just ignore pain, just bury it deep down, distract ourselves with cheap, easy, quick dopamine, gaming, TV, pleasuring yourselves, drinking, any other kind of vice that you have, just so you can avoid that feeling of pain and just trick yourself into feeling nice and happy and cozy and comfortable and happy, is so detrimental. My last video, I was doing a kind of February reflect, and I remember commenting on that you know, it's February, that initial New Year's kind of boost has started to wane, and now it's, you know, we're getting a bit more resistance into continuously trying to do the things that are made and done to better ourselves, done to better myself. And it's really taken a toll actually these past few weeks. I really have felt the resistance build up. And while I live on my own, while I have a few friends around, physically I don't have the support network. My support network is all over text and phone messages. So when I'm in, and I'm not a person to usually reach out for help as well, it's just not how I engage with life as a kid. So it's just what I've learned to do now, and I'm not saying that's how you guys should manage your stuff. I really should try and reach out more and build that better support network, but you know, here we are. So when I do get in the down and the dumps, it's really only me to ever bring myself back. And so sometimes I can get quite lost. And these past few weeks have definitely been there. I've definitely been feeling the inner conflict with myself, the conflict of, you know, no matter how much I push, no matter how much progress I make, it's never enough. It's never going to actualize the future that I want. It's never going to actualize the self that I want. And it's been tough because, you know, I've been kind of doing this work for the past sort of 2 years. And yeah, I have made progress, but in honesty, I mentioned this to a friend the other day because I kind of had this little mini eureka moment, which is sort of the inspiration for this video, is that under all the progress and under all the achievements and under all of the moments, there's little moments of times when you do make progress and you can physically see that you've made progress because you've either broken a pattern or you have a physical achievement that you can see, touch. Is that under all of that, for me personally, there has been a feeling of hollowness. And I realized that I needed to I'm losing connection with what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and with who I want to be. I'm falling back into these inner self-beliefs, and they're taking hold again. So after being in a dopamine hole for a couple of weeks, I sat down, I was like, okay, this evening we're going to try and reconnect with ourselves. And in doing so, in acknowledging that I'm in pain and acknowledging that I need to do something about it, to connect with it, to understand it. Because once you understand it, you can solve it. You can heal from it, you can deal with it, you can manage it. And so I ended up watching this video from a YouTuber called Master Samwise. I'll try and link this video down below if I remember and if I can. And the video was about how to write self-actualization. The video title caught me because I'm self-actualization. That's what I want to do. And it was a really, really interesting video, but there was one line in it that really caught me. And it was a question that I needed to ask myself in that moment, but it was just a question I didn't know the right word into. It was a question I didn't know that I needed to ask, but it was one that I did need to ask. And the question was, who am I if I'm not who I thought I was? And that clicked, that just instantly clicked with me throughout all the kind of years since the breakdown and the therapy and the healing. I have been making progress, but I'm also very keenly aware of when elements of my shadow are surfacing and what kind of thoughts and behaviors and emotions that they provoke. And really slapped me in the face, this question, because it hit the nail right on the head, in that I'm not who I thought I was. And so if I'm not who I thought I was, now, who am I? Who am I? Who am I working towards? What am I really, truly, authentically working towards? And it got me thinking. I connected with this pain. I connected with the hurt. And it led me to realize that the person that I am now is me. Well, I'm going to avoid too deep on the philosophical, but it's been very heavily influenced by trauma back from school time. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into the details because it's context heavy, but I'll illustrate enough to hopefully convey the message. But essentially, I had a very negative world self-view kind of throughout primary and secondary school, although I also had a conflicting self-belief, and that was, I am, I'm good, I'm funny, I'm popular, good looking, witty, all that sort of stuff. And it conflicted with the negative worldview that I thought, everyone saw me in this negative light, and I had this also in a very positive, I won't say positive, it was a good projection of myself, but it was kind of twisted. It was a bit more sort of toxic. I am good, I am best, but no one can see me. No one can see how kind of good and funny I am. I don't get the chance to prove myself. I'm always put down by others, yada, yada, yada. And I had these two inner selves always kind of conflicting and battling. And come sixth form, to me, I had really built up in my mind, American media did have a hand in this, and they always show that once you reach that age, the house parties, the drinking, the girls, the party, it's all good fun. It's time to make a good stamp that can help maybe lead you further into the future. So sixth form for me was going to be this huge moment to really make a stamp and to prove that I'm not this negative self-view. I am better than this. That didn't happen. That got very, very heavily rejected, that idea. I ended up getting rejected by my social circle. I ended up, the main one I've been with, and I ended up hanging out more of the sports team that I engaged with, the rowers. No issues with them at all, but it was very hard getting pushed out from my main friends group. We were friends with a lot of girls. It was an all-boys school, and come sixth form, girls joined our school, and we knew quite a few of them. We had quite a few boys flock to us. The group grew massive, dynamics changed. I was an incredibly insecure and anxious person. I'm sure my behaviors, my inner feelings were in some way reflected in my behaviors. I wasn't rejected without reason. I probably did come across as a little bit weird and a bit maybe too keen, needy. I don't quite know. I'm looking at it from like a 10-year reflection, and I can only put my narrative onto how I think other people see me. So I don't want to say too much on that, because I don't know for sure. But the point is, my my positive self that I really was hoping to shine got very heavily rejected indirectly. And what was confirmed for me was that the negative view that I thought everyone else had of me was confirmed. And that was a very traumatic experience, extremely traumatic. And I carried what I realized now over literally the past few days is I had now carried that inner belief throughout my later years, throughout these past few years. And even after the breakdown and after the therapy and these past few years when I've been really trying to okay, let's crack on now, let's make something of myself. Beginning of the video when I said I had this hollow feeling, I realize now it's because of this trauma. It's because of this negative view that I will always be the loser, bottom of the barrel, not funny, yada yada yada, all the negative stuff, right? That had been implanted on me. So whenever I'm making this progress, whenever I'm trying to do these good things, there's a inner voice, inner belief, inner feeling that just it's like the one ring just kind of whispering to me, just saying, it's not true, it's a lie. You can try and do all these things as much as you want. You can try and play the hero, but it's never going to be true. You are just wasting your time. Just accept that you're never going to be successful or happy or get the things that you want, and let's just sit in the mud where we belong. And it's only through years of I won't lie, I've had a lot of stuff to deal with, just the same as most people, have so much stuff to deal with. But I think my skill and my talent is I'm able to persevere through these things. I might, have to take a bench a few times, but I'm confident I'm able to sit with these feelings and to explore them and to understand and examine, this negative behavior or this negative feeling or emotion that's popping up. Is this just a part of me being a human being? Or is this an element of a hidden shadow, hidden trauma, a hidden negative self-belief that is influencing my day-to-day life and behavior? And it's only through the ability to sit with yourself and to really not be comfortable with the pain, to be comfortable that you are going to be in pain. Because you can't be comfortable in pain, right? But you can be comfortable with the fact that you are going to be in pain, that pain is never going to be eradicated from your life. But the way to get through it is to sit with it, to understand it, understand what makes you angry, those little moments that kind of just spark and instantly you're on from 0 to level 10. That's not something you just write off to say, oh yeah, this thing really pisses me off, it gets me so angry, so I'm going to do my best to just avoid this thing. No. You are never going to be whole if you do that, if you run away from things. That little minor thing that gets you from 0 to 10 in your anger, you need to sit down, write out go back to that last situation where you got angry, write down what the situation was, what was the environment, what triggered you, what were the elements to that trigger, how did you instantly feel, think, respond, and find the patterns with each incident. And as you can find patterns, you can find triggers. And as you can find triggers, you can find meaning, reasoning. And as you find this meaning and reasoning, you gain clarity, understanding. And once you gain clarity and understanding, you gain control and power. Control and power to heal, to manage, to eradicate this negative element of your life, of yourself. And as you remove this negative element from yourself, guess what? You've just made free space. You've just made an extra space in the massive car park inside you. So what are you going to do? You're now going to get a positive element to fill this space. When you remove a negative, you have to fill it with a positive. It's no good just sitting there and understanding, oh, okay, yeah, this is shit. And this is shit because of X, Y, and Z. All right, cool, I understand that now. You can't just leave it there. You have to do the work of understanding how you got to that point, how it integrates in your life now. And once it does, you can say, okay, what positive element can I change to not only push this out, but to keep it out and to stop it from getting back in, because its space is gone. All right, there's no more room. It is gone. So for me, I realized that this trauma that has really stamped quite heavily this negative self-view of myself, I understand, how I've got here. I can look back on my life and I can see where it's creeped in, and I can just understand now how it's bringing my, achievements and recognition down. The way I'm moving forward now is first I recognize that what I'm doing is good, okay? The achievements that I'm making are real and they have real benefit to my life, for my future and right now, and I can see the difference. I have the physical evidence for that. The second thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to sit down and I'm going to be writing out what identity has been created from that trauma. What beliefs does this self have? And how do those beliefs create behavior? What are those behaviors and where do they creep into my life? And really identify and categorize kind of each of these things. And then with that, I can say, okay, I have this belief and it creates this behavior, and it's this thing. What's the positive opposite of that? And we can go through down and I can, create counters for each of these things. I can write them down, make them nice and clear, nice and pretty, all right? We stick them up on the wall, somewhere where I'm always going to see these things, and I reflect on them daily. I'm going to make myself consciously aware. This is a negative belief I have, and this negative belief creates this behavior. But that's fine, because I've also been reflecting on this so much daily that I now know that this behavior and this belief, my counter is this positive belief and this positive behavior. And because I've taken the time to be comfortable with that pain, in the moment when that negative belief and behavior surfaces, rather than falling prey to automatic behavior and getting caught up in the flow of it, I spot it. And as soon as I spot it, my memory goes, I know this behavior, I know this emotion, and because I've taken the time to reflect, as soon as I spot it, my brain instantly clicks in and goes, that's fine, because we have this positive thing. So we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on making this positive emotion and positive behavior an automatic habit, an automatic response in this situation. But you can only do that when you are comfortable and sit with the pain. You can only do that when you face what makes you angry, what makes you sad, depressed, anxious. It's all well and good to watch positive, motivational people up on stage or on YouTube and podcasts, and to hear, I did this and I was inspired and I just kept persevering through all the negative, and I found my one stroke of luck and then my whole world opened up. It's not like that. It's not, when these people tell these beautiful success stories, they are telling it from a perspective that is a very strong selling point, because we want to hear the good stuff that got them to this point, because it's a good feeling for us to cling on to, that we think that we can achieve that as well. We can find this good feeling and then we can achieve a similar success. What they will leave out is the pain that they also had to go through, and where their true growth really was in the pain. True, honest, massive growth And I say massive, I don't mean like huge steps, I mean what's massive to you comes from pain. So don't be afraid of pain. Don't shy away from it. Be comfortable with the fact that you are going to be in pain. Get comfortable with the fact that you are going to be in pain in the future. But be confident and proud in the fact that you have the resilience, you have the determination, the tenacity, the courage, the strength, the heroism to not run away from that pain, but to be with it, to sit next to it and to listen to it, to be empathetic with it. And if you can do these things, then I promise you, I really promise you, that true growth will occur. Stay strong and keep up the good work. Mwah.